The woman was trapped in a narrow space. She wore a death countdown bracelet on her arm. Endless traps awaited her ahead. Just as the woman didn't know what to do, the steel door behind her was suddenly opened. The bracelet started to activate automatically. The woman didn't hesitate and crawled in. Terrible growls kept coming from the darkness. Looking at the exit above her head, she could only crawl forward quickly. But when she was halfway there, a steel door closed, blocking all the light. She could only grope her way forward. Accidentally, she found there was a narrow passage beside her. She adjusted her body shape and endured the pain to crawl in. Finally, she climbed out of the hole. The woman looked ahead despairingly. She summoned up her courage and climbed onto the barrier. The steps rose quickly. She moved forward rapidly and finally passed the barrier at the last moment. She kept passing through barriers in the narrow space, getting closer and closer to the exit. Finally, she saw the exit leading to freedom. She immediately crawled forward excitedly. But who would have thought that in the next second, a guillotine blade suddenly dropped. Even more terrifyingly, there were actually 3 such deadly barriers. If she was just a little bit slower, she would be cut into pieces. At this point, she had no way back. If she wanted to survive, she had to fight her way forward. Soon, she figured out the pattern of the first guillotine blade. She successfully passed it at the last moment when it closed. However, the second guillotine blade was even more dangerous. The interval between its movements was only 2 seconds. She leaped over it with great courage and finally passed it in a thrilling way. Now, as long as she passed the last one, she could regain her freedom. But she never expected that. The interval of the last guillotine blade was only 0.5 seconds. Looking at the exit that was so close, she gritted her teeth and rushed forward. The guillotine blade still took away one of her feet, but she couldn't care less about the pain of the severed foot. She endured the intense pain and crawled forward. She thought she had finally escaped to safety, but when she saw clearly what was in front of her, despair enveloped her again. A cold screen was actually ahead. She fell to the ground in despair.